Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new haircut, and we have something I really want to discuss today, which has become abundantly clear with less than a week of Festival of Legends being live in Hearthstone. There's a shocking truth to talk about that we haven't seen in quite some time, and know what else is shocking? How close we are to 69,420 subs. It'd be awfully nice if you hit that sub button. We'll have a big giveaway when we hit that milestone. It would be awfully nice. But what's the shocking truth? Well, I have my tweet loaded here. The 3 most popular cards in Festival of Legends. Posted this like just a couple days ago of School Teacher, Nerubian Vizier, and Astlor, 3 neutral cards from prior sets. And it got me to thinking, and also just got me like wondering, how much has the new set impacted the game? Because typically when there's a standard rotation, you have 3 expansions leaving the game, it's inevitably that expansion is going to be pretty high impact. Ashes of Outland with Demon Hunter broke the game. Forge of the Barons was not super impactful, but pretty strong. And then last year, we had the whole Sunken City with the Colossal Minions and all that did really well. The game felt completely different, but we are at an expansion right now where it feels like nothing has changed almost since the last year, or since the last Hearthstone year with rotation, where all the top decks, at least for the most part, are the same as before. Savid's put this tweet out not too long ago. Oh no! Top 1,000 legend stats. Tier 1 decks, Rogue. Miracle Rogue, by the way, back to being on top. What a surprise. That didn't take too long. It runs 2 new common cards, 1 legendary, Unholy Death Knight, 2 new common cards, Undead Priest, 2 new common cards, Frost Death Knight, 0 new cards, although some people have tried out the Hardcore Cultist, I think it's called, the finale card, but I keep saying every time I recommend that deck, like, you don't really need that card. If this holds, this is the cheapest set ever. So I'm like, well, is it only the top decks that are really like the old stuff? Well, Reed just tweeted this a few days ago as well. I'd love to see some buffs for the legendary songs. Here's their data from Diamond to Legend over the last day. This was on April 14th. None are above a 50% win rate. My head's blocking this. I'll show it really quickly. Where all of these spells have a sub 50%, with the best being Deathlight going down swinging with this whole like gonk style thing, which is apparently a bug. An interaction with multi-strike that's not intended. But regardless, you're seeing that all like the legendary spells, like one of the really cool things about the set, none of the cards are performing well, and it really breaks my heart because like Symphony of Sins, one of my favorite cards ever, and it's only at like 45% win rate here. And yeah, so the songs aren't doing well. Is it just the legendary stuff? Well, we take a look again at the top meta. This is at Legend since the latest patch. Again, we have to look pretty hard to find like a new deck. Totem Shaman running some new cards. You gotta really dig deep to find like, I guess, Hybrid Hunter. Even Mech Paladin is like a remnant from Sunken City. So it's like, where are the new archetypes? Where are the cards? Well, we got Tony Druid at 48%. All the new stuff is like all down here. We got like Light Show Mage, 33%. Freebird Rogue, 37%. Dancing Paladin, 42%. Hero Power Druid, 42%. It's pretty ridiculous. It's crazy how like low impact the set is, because today I was planning, I typically do a pretty quick like, what should you craft video? What card should you craft from Festival of Legends? And it would be a really, really short video because, well, let's dig a little bit deeper and take a look at the actual card statistics. So again, the most popular cards, including all the sets, again, Astalor has gone up since my tweet, up to 40%. Vizier, School Teacher, Prince Renethal, because basically Blood Death Knight is like super popular, and I love me Renethal, but it's kind of being, you know, only in one deck. Finley, Chillfallen, and hey, we got 2 new cards in here, ETC and Photographer Fizzle. The nice thing about ETC is we all got it for free, so yeah, I don't even need to recommend crafting that. And yeah, Photographer Fizzle is seen playing Deathlight, Relic Demon Hunter, and actually some new decks, but where are some other new cards? We got Arcanite Ripper, we got Ghost Rider, basically all the cards that are kind of going into Blood Decay. But it gets really scary when you basically isolate this data to be just the latest expansion. So organizing by set, by Festival of Legends, and we're gonna just go by deck win rate. And this is where it gets crazy. This is where it gets crazy to me. If you look at cards from the latest expansion that are included in decks that at least win, they win on average, it is a startling low amount. Doing a rough count, it is 29 of 145 cards from Festival of Legends are actually seeing relative competitive play. And I'm being generous to a card like Frequency Oscillator, which has a 50% win rate, or Rolling Stone with a sample size of like 880 times play. Like a lot of these cards, like Audio Medic, I think that's in that Aggro Mage list I showed, very limited sample size. So a lot of these cards aren't seeing a ton of play. And ironically, you look at like, oh, what legendaries do I need to craft right now that look pretty decent? Well, Pazik is free. Mukla, not exactly, you know, dominating, 670 times played, 50.7% deck win rate. Fizzle, I could recommend. Helveria, I could recommend. And again, going down swinging is, again, 360 times played. I could not recommend that one. But you take a look, you go scroll down to where it is terrifying to see how many cards are just outright doing terribly. Like Inza, the high roll card for Overload Shaman, is at a 34.7% deck win rate. Even its mulligan win rate isn't good. And that's the card where you're supposed to spike your win rate, right? Because all your Overload cards cost less. If you're wondering where the rifts are, I have to show sparse data because nobody in the right mind plays the cards. Inverse Rift, Bridge Rift, and Corge Rift currently are the bottom five. Bottom five, the warrior cards all sub 30%. This 2-mana card, when held in your mulligan, gives you a 30% win rate, mulligan win rate, and just 20% play win rate. Like they are. So yeah, if you're wondering about the rifts, people are like, oh, we're being a little, you know, too harsh on them. They're not going to be that bad. They're that bad. They're historically bad. And we might have our video on the worst cards at some point, like we usually do. But I just had to show this early that, yes, if you're thinking about playing Hearthstone right now, you really don't have to worry about the new set too much. All the decent cards are like commons and rares, and all the old cards from the prior year just outclass everything right now. It's pretty unprecedented, and you know the Hearthstone team's not going to like this. They're not going to like this because they need to sell the latest expansion, but they're going to have a problem selling the expansion when the cards themselves are underperforming. And how do you alleviate that? Well, the obvious answer is we need to dial back these decks that have been left unchecked for way too long. That could be Frost Deathlight, Unholy Deathlight, of course, Blood, all the Deathlight decks, they need to be dialed back. I think everyone can agree. I'm a Deathlight fanboy. I love the classic. I like 1600 wins already. I would love for it to not get changed. I'd like to be a little bit biased on that, but at the end of the day, for the health of the game and for everybody, yeah, it should be dialed back, as well as like a Pure Paladin, a Miracle Rogue, which we've been talking about forever with Shadow Step and all that shenanigans. They're not running new cards. It's not because of new cards that it's busted. It's just stuff that's been left unchecked for so long, and a lot of it hasn't left, and it's just basically smothering out all of the other stuff. I think we're going to expect to see a really, really large balance patch in the next week or so, both buffs and nerfs, and it might be historic. It might be a historic level because these numbers to me are at a shocking, absolute shockingly historic level of just unplayable cards throughout the entire set, where so many are sub 40, and like they're legendaries, they're key cards, like Infantize the Maximitude, right? Like it's not just garbage throwaway cards like, I don't know, Rifts, something like that. It's all of them. It's almost all of them. Archetypes, legendaries. It's pretty crazy to see, and I'll be very interested to see how harsh the nerfs will be, how harsh the buffs will be. And again, we'll speculate that in the upcoming days, but love to hear you guys' take on it, how you feel about this new set. I'm actually really not minding the meta because I like Death Knight. I like that style of play. It fights for board, you know, it's control based and all that, at least blood. I don't mind it, but at the end of the day, when it's basically like one or two classes dominating the ladder, take a look even at like popularity, Death Knight makes up almost 20% of total games. That's not a lot of fun for anybody. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll see how things evolve. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.